Hey, how's it going, everyone? Today I wanted to do something a little different and show you guys a video I actually made an entire year ago of what we did with an abandoned camp. If you have seen my previous videos, you would have seen the video where I mentioned having to escape the cops from this abandoned camp, and this is the one right here, the one that's on the screen right now. So basically, it's a YMCA camp that we had found, and it had been abandoned since like 2008 or something like that. And as you could see from the beginning of the video, we we definitely messed it up a bit. I mean, it was already messed up. Like, we just took advantage of that and messed it up even more. It even had like a little beach area, and that's where the whole story took down from that first video. And one day we were just kind of like, okay, what if we cleaned out this place though? You know, we come here so often just to hang out and do a lot of crazy stuff. Why don't we clean it out and use it for events, basically? You know, we thought it was a really good idea. So one day we just went to the nearest dollar store, got a bunch of supplies, and we're like, okay, we're gonna do it. We're gonna fucking do this. We're gonna get the whole place cleaned out. Our goal was to have an awesome place for us to throw parties at, really. Like, we love Halloween, so we really want to do a Halloween event there where we just have a costume party, essentially. So as you can see on the screen, we actually did a lot of cleaning. Like, it was at first just me and my girlfriend that we were cleaning out the whole camp. You know, we're taking out everything, and it was super hard, super gross and disgusting, because we're out here just picking things up at first. But it was really gross, you know, everything's just rotted away, and there were bugs everywhere, webs, spiders. So we're all just taking things out, you know. We're just taking things out little by little, moving everything that we can. And once we got all the big things out, which was super heavy, well, most of the things were pretty heavy, so we just do it, both of us, at the same time. After that, we took it to start sweeping. So we wanted to sweep the floor, get everything out. So that was essentially phase one of our project. It took us about 2 days, I think, to finish it all up, and it was always at night. We always ended up coming there at night, because we would work and then we would leave our jobs to get there at night and clean up the camp. There was this outdoor patio area for the camp, like the actual building had an outdoor patio, and that's where we were throwing everything, just everything. And by the end of all that cleaning, the entire patio was just filled with junk that we ended up taking out. And the most annoying part was just that, like, we kept stepping on glass that was completely our fault. All the glass that we kept stepping on and tripping on, it was like dangerous. It was all our fault. You know, as you can see from the other videos, we were smashing glass in there so often that we ended up filling the entire floor with a ton of glass. So after we did all the phase one cleaning, it was time for phase two, and phase two was just to give it a good wash. But we were trying to think of something creative to do to start it off, because we wanted to get the floor really wet so we can wash it all out with each room and whatever. So we ended up having a water balloon fight between me, my girlfriend, Kat, and Esteban, which is her boyfriend. All four of us just throwing water balloons at each other to get the floor wet and get everything wet and be able to go at it and scrub the floors. So here's a video for that.
Go, 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 go! This with that shit.
Fuck y'all for shit.
Who do you think you are? Oh, no. You okay, guy? You chilling?
Hurt. What did you do? Wow. In the face, bro. Shoot my head.
Alright, there's no more. We're chilling. Okay, I'm sorry. That doesn't work. That was safe.
Why did those hurt?
Alright, so after that water balloon fight, we started going to town and we started scrubbing everything because the floors and the walls were actually super fucking gross. We had to physically, remove all of the gunk that was there just so we can get to phase 3. But we had a ton of fun because we ended up going to the Dollar General just to get a ton of supplies. We got some bleach. We got tons of jugs of waters, which is super annoying just to carry back and forth from the car to the camp. Honestly, to me, this is probably the funnest part of the camp cleaning out because I loved working with the water. We ended up getting pretty messed up because of all the bleach that we poured into the floor. My shoes got messed up, my pants got messed up. Everyone was just super soaking wet and we all smelled just terrible. Like we all smelled like pure chlorine or something. I think scrubbing the walls was a pretty hard part just because we didn't have enough water for it. And it was just a lot of gunk that would end up falling to the floor, and ultimately we couldn't actually get too much of the water out of the floor. So what we had to do was push out as much as we could out the front door, but we knew we weren't going to have the floor completely dried off once we finished for the day. So we sadly had to leave the camp doors open, and that was our biggest worry because not a lot of people would go there, and the people that did go there was obviously to fuck things up. So we didn't want to leave the doors open, but we did leave the doors open just so it could get some fresh air and it would smell a little better and the water would all dry up by the next day. And gladly, by the time that we came back the next day, it was pretty much all dried up. And even better, no one actually messed with the camp because we left a little note that was like, hey, we're cleaning the camp, please don't ruin it. And a lot of people did respect that. Some people actually even left a note saying, hey, we're really glad that you're doing this, yada yada yada. And we were like, awesome. It's great that we have the support of everyone that's around that comes to the camp. Alright, so now that phase 2 was over, it was time to move on to phase 3, and that was actually painting the camp because we wanted to get rid of all like the graffiti, all the crappy parts of the camp that nobody really wants to look at. But this one had to have been the most expensive part of all the cleaning, of the overall project, because we ended up dropping like $150 just on white paint and of course the tools, which I did not know were super expensive. You know what? Painting tools are pretty expensive, but it was actually really fun. I think this is probably like the second best part. I really liked painting the camp. It was really annoying just because we didn't have a ladder or anything, so reaching up the high places I kind of had to do like little jumps, and Kyla, of course, she's short as you can see in the video, so it was up to me to paint the higher parts, but we had a lot of fun. I think painting was really, really nice and creative, and that was the one singular time we actually went there in the morning. We went there super early just to be able to get it done and leave for the day knowing what we needed to do for the next plans. So I think, yeah, it just took one singular day for us to paint the whole camp, but it was a lot of back and forth driving from the camp to the actual store, which was super crazy, but we got it all done. It was really nice. So sadly came phase 4, and this one was supposed to be my most favorite part because I love doing this. We were gonna paint the walls that we painted white. We were gonna do our own designs, our own graffiti, our own super cool things. So we did do it. I actually got to finish my one entire wall because me and Kyla both had 2 walls. I was gonna do 2, she was gonna do 2. I finished one entire wall that I thought looked really nice. I was like, this looks banging. I love this. But sadly, this is what ended up happening. Okay, heartbreaking day for us today at the camp because we came back after weeks of not working on our stuff. This is like the last thing that we did with the spray paints, and I guess some shit happened, so now everything's being taken down. They painted that black for some reason, and that just only those things. Those are the spray paints that we had. So everything that we're doing, they're gonna reverse. They cleaned those rooms that we hadn't cleaned before. We took out some of the broken stuff, made a fucking mess over here. So for us, I think we're just gonna stop for now. I don't think we're gonna continue doing this one. I'm not trying to get caught. There's like surveillance cameras all around. Sucks for us today. And I had a door right there that they ended up taking out for some reason, and they put it outside. I don't know why though. It was part of my spray paint wall. To be perfectly transparent, this was somewhat our fault because, as I mentioned in the video before, it had been, I think, about a week or two that we didn't work on it. So we had spray painted everything. It was looking really good, but we hadn't done anything else, right? And in that time, in that 2-week time span, that's when we got in trouble with the cops. So we didn't end up coming in for another week. So I'll correct myself. I think it was about 3 weeks or so that we didn't come back. But when we did come back, there was a bunch of surveillance cameras, and the entire place was kind of rigged out, and they were trying to mess with our things. They cleaned out the things that we cleaned out, essentially. So we cleaned out the inside of the building, and they took out everything that we did. So we were pretty disappointed because of all the surveillance that was around. We didn't want to take the risk of going back, and security in the camp has only increased. They actually even toppled down the roof, so we couldn't finish anything more than that, and that broke our hearts. That was just really, really sad. So our experiment, our little project came to an end there, but hopefully we get to do another one some other time soon, and we get to impress you guys. For now, this is all I have to show, so goodbye, cult members. I hope you have a nice day.